Hey everyone, Rich Dotson here again with my week 3 sneaky starts of the week, one at each position to help you get through this week as we approach the bye weeks. These sneaky starts can be the difference between a win and a loss, so let's hope these guys can help you get that coveted W. All right, guys, here we are entering week 3 and some more sneaky starts. And we're going to start with the quarterback position. On my TV show this week, I really talked up Sam Darnold, really liked his matchup this week, and he delivered. So now that this video is coming out on Friday, I can't talk Sam Darnold because I can't go back and be Martin McFly. So Darnold had a good game, but who else at quarterback could possibly give us a good game that we might have on our bench or maybe on your waiver wire? Let's start with Daniel Jones of the New York Giants. He plays the Atlanta Falcons this week, and that's a fantastic matchup. If everybody's been paying attention so far, Daniel Jones is quarterback 5 on the year. He's been getting it done with his arm, and most importantly, for fantasy football, he's been getting done with his legs as well. So this is going to be a really nice position versus the Atlanta Falcons, who've already given up a ton of points to the previous quarterbacks they played. They already faced Tom Brady. He had 276 yards and 5 touchdowns. They played Jalen Hurts, who doesn't have the strongest arm, and he had a big game with 264 yards and 3 touchdowns. So they're giving up a lot of fantasy points to the quarterback. And here comes Mr. Daniel Jones, quarterback 5 on the year, ready to deliver to keep that quarterback 1 status going. Keep that quarterback 1 possibly in your lineup for a sneaky start this week versus Atlanta Falcons. Running back. Who doesn't need help at running back at all times? These guys are dropping like flies like they do every single year. Well, how about a guy that might be on your bench by the name of Tyson Williams of the Baltimore Ravens? Boy, what a matchup that he has this week. He plays the Detroit Lions. And when it comes to stopping a fantasy football running back, the Detroit Lions are more like the Detroit Kitty Cats. They're just not getting it done. Running right over these guys. Tyson Williams, the main guy there in Baltimore. I know Devontae Freeman had a good carry last week, but he's the guy there. Had a fumble last week, but still got the 15 carries, 93 yards. Played almost half the snaps on offense as well. So he's in a good spot again this week versus Detroit to put up some big-time numbers for your fantasy football team. Maybe he's your running back 3 when he should really be your running back 2 this week. Get him in your lineup. Let him run over these kitty cats. Reap your rewards. Let's get to W. Tyson Williams in your lineup. Now let's start at the wide receiver position. I want to talk about Sterling Shepard here, but I don't think that's too sneaky because Sterling Shepard's having a really good year, and I really want to pair him up with Daniel Jones for that double dip of fantasy football points, but you can't put a top 16 fantasy football receiver as a sneaky start because everybody should have him in your lineup. Well, let's get a little sneakier, shall we? And let's talk about Tim Patrick of the Denver Broncos. You know, when other wide receivers on the Broncos get hurt, Tim Patrick comes in and he's Mr. Solid, and he delivers. You might as well call him the mailman because he'll come in here, he's going to give you a solid double-digit game so far every year, week on the year so far, which is only 2, but he's given us back-to-back weeks of touchdowns. He came in week 1, 4 catches, 39 yards, and a touchdown. Week 2, 3 catches, 37 yards, and a touchdown. Back-to-back jacks. Thanks, Tim Patrick. Let's get him in your lineup this week versus the Jets because right now he's in a really good position. He's somebody that's come in when Cortland Sutton went down with his ACL injury last year. He came in and averaged right around 13 points per game. So we see him right now with Jerry Jeudy doing close to the same thing, right around 13 to 15 points per game. He seems like a nice wide receiver 3 with a pretty safe floor. Teddy Bridgewater getting it done through the air. 10 of 10, not as tentative as he used to be. I like Tim Patrick this week as a wide receiver 3 to get in your lineup as a not-so-obvious sneaky guy out there. Again, Sterling Shepard, great. Tim Patrick, equally good. All right, guys, and finally, last but not least, let's talk about a good tight end here that could be a little sneaky to get in your lineup. So what about Jared Cook of the Chargers? He just has a really good matchup this week. Currently, tight end 15 on the year in PPR leagues. Somebody that you can get in here versus the Chiefs this week. He's averaged almost 7 targets per game. So there's some volume there. And I know he's got a little trouble here because he's probably the 4th option on this team. You got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler in the passing game, and then Jared Cook. But he's still seeing about 7 targets per game. And this week he plays the Chiefs. And Chiefs are a pretty good matchup because when it comes to stopping the tight end right now, they're at the bottom third of the league. They're just not getting it done. They're allowing points to be scored versus them at the tight end position, and the defense just hasn't been a solid game. Now, the offense is going to score points, and the Chargers are going to have to keep pace here. This is going to put Jared Cook in a really good opportunity to get it done and possibly find the end zone this week as a big target. So I like Jared Cook as one of those sneaky tight end plays for you this week. And we all need help at the tight end position sometimes because, tight end number 7 to tight end 15, there's not that much of a difference. Even right now, Jared Cook's tight end number 15 overall is 16.4 points on the year. And we're looking at tight end number 8 overall, Kyle Pitts, 19.4 points. That's one catch for 20 yards. Jared Cook can get us one catch for 20 yards extra this week versus the Chiefs. It's going to be a high-scoring game. High-scoring games leads to high points. Let's hope Jared Cook is a part of that equation. Let's get him in your lineup. We'll be back next week with some more sneaky starts to get in your lineup. Maybe we'll start adding a couple more running backs, maybe another receiver in here to make it a little bit deeper. But let's start with these guys right here. Get them in your lineup. Let's get that W. Let's go 3-0, 2-1. Hey, even 1-3. The winning streak starts now. Let's get it done. See you next week.